Last night's final race was a thriller. Two swimmers qualified for the Olympic Games in the women's 800 metres. Lauren Boyle cruised through, and with her good friend Emma Robinson. Their road to Rio has begun. It's the second session of finals at the National Swimming Championships, with athletes striving for titles, records and Olympic selection at the Sir Owen Glen Aquatic Centre. And while we expect the swimmers to swim their best in the finals at night, Mark, as sometimes happens, this morning was a case, they do actually produce good performances in the heats.
Yeah, interestingly, this morning Matt Stanley qualified for the Rio Olympics in the 200 metres freestyle, and it was great to see him do that. Really important now that he does step up, John.
Because that's the way it goes at the Olympics. If they don't swim their best in the heats, they're not going to go nowhere, are they?
Oh, absolutely. Look, they're only going to get one shot at the Olympics if they go over there and just swim through it. So they have to swim really fast. I think Matt Stanley now, you know, we've seen him qualify for these Olympic Games. It's all the pressure is off. He's had a couple of lean years. I want to see him step up. I want to see him not just produce a better time, but actually break his own New Zealand record and make a statement that he's going to Rio to actually do a good job.
And a national record will be required if Nathan Capp is to go in the 400 metres individual medley.
Yeah, I think he's capable of that as well. Look, he's in good shape. He said last night he felt really good in the 800 free, a non-Olympic event. He just cruised through that. I thought he swam very well, but he's also said that he had a good swim this morning. He's looking forward to stepping up. Okay, let's show you what you're going to see tonight. We have 4 para-swim events, and then we'll also have the 200 metres freestyle. We've talked about the men's, but the women are there as well. That 400 metre individual medley, Nathan Capp needing a national record to qualify. The 50 metre backstroke, the 200 breaststrokes, and then, as we see down at the bottom there, we end the meeting with a 4x100 medley relay for men and women. We're almost set to go, but before that first event, let's go poolside where Lauren Boyle is with Ian Jones.
Yes, thanks very much, John. Real pleasure to have Lauren Boyle poolside here. Of course, she had that fantastic swim in the 800 metres last night. Firstly, congratulations, Olympian again. It looked really controlled last night. Talk us through the race.
Thank you. I guess distance swimming often looks controlled because you have a lower stroke rate, but I was definitely hurting, so I put my 100% in last night, and I was happy with the outcome. I'm really excited to be an Olympian again. It's such an honour just to have the opportunity to represent New Zealand, so yeah, really pleased with the result.
Lauren, all your training's geared around the distance events. Are you on track with your pace, knowing exactly where you are during a race like that?
It is a little bit different when it's just me and Emma in the race. So last night I was really lucky to swim with Emma Robinson, who also qualified. I'm really happy for her for making the team for the Olympics for the first time. But I guess when you're racing in the international races, there's always people kind of going your pace, so it's a little bit different at the New Zealand trials, but I usually have a feel for how fast I'm going.
Talk us through, because you look so controlled, but we know it's such a difficult sport. Some of your training leading into this, you're in the Gold Coast at the moment.
Yeah, so I've been training on the Gold Coast with Dennis Cotterill, who's a really renowned distance coach in world swimming, and I'm very thankful to have that opportunity. He's, some people describe him as a mad scientist of swim coaching, and he just really gets the sport, I think, and especially in the longer events, he's such a specialist there.
So what's your plan from now, the end of the trials for the Olympics?
Basically just really consistent training. So after a small light week here, I'm going to head back to Australia and go on a camp in Thredbo. The Aussies are having their trials starting on April 7th, so there won't be training back on the Gold Coast until they finish. So I'll meet back on the Gold Coast and hopefully put in some hard yards before Rio.
Well, it's great to have you poolside. Congratulations once more on being an Olympian. Train hard, and we'll see you in Rio.
Thanks very much.
Yes, I don't think Lauren needs to be told to train hard. She's been fantastic, and her lead up to the Rio Olympics is superb. Family and friends here watching, and she talked about the Gold Coast and how important that's been to her, and we're seeing that too with other swimmers as well who've gone over there. They're coming back and producing well, so here's hoping more tonight. We've already, as Mark Bones mentioned, Matthew Stanley qualifying this morning, as we see the competitors now for this first race, the men's 100 backstroke. It's para swimmers and the 3 starters in lanes 3, 4 and 5. Now with 2 of these, Tama Soluota and David Beck are both S14. And Christopher Arbuthnot is in S9. Arbuthnot is in the middle and lane 4. This is Paralympic event. So they have qualifying targets that they want to meet, Mark, and as we've said last night, that's not the be-all and end-all. It's only the start of it, isn't it, to reach those standards?
Yeah, it is only the start, and there's only one that can actually qualify in this event, and that's Christopher Arbuthnot in the 100 backstroke in the S9 category. That is his category. He needs to do a 107.32. I think it's a little bit outside his expectations at this stage, but still a very competent swimmer. As we see him go down, we want to see him go a little bit under the 33-second mark at the first 50 metres, and he's right there, 33.69. So he needs to come back in almost an even split to be able to do that qualifying time. And in backstroke, you are capable of doing that. Looking quite relaxed. He's lying back in the water really nicely. Good body position. Remember, you've got this disability, and so you're pulling much more aggressively on his left arm versus his right arm. But he's got a nice stroke rate going. He keeps it pretty fluid.
And he's constantly improving too. The 17-year-old from Icebreaker Aquatics, coached by Nicole Goldsmith. He comes to the wall now, touches well. Good strong finish from him at 109.02. So that's a second and a half outside, but that's a big improvement for him. I think he did a 110.55 as his personal best, so he's gone well under that tonight.
Yeah, I thought he looked really good. It was a good personal best for him.
So that's our first event tonight, and we'll just explain a wee bit more about para swimming throughout the night as we see Arbuthnot's official time of 109.02. 116 was a personal best through too for Tama. And David Beck, I think that's a personal best for him. So they've gone well. So the sport classifications, 1 to 10 is for physical impairment. So when we talk about an S9 or an S5, whatever it is, if the lower the number, the more the impairment. So there are 10 different sport classes, numbered 1 to 10. And then for visual impairment, they go from 11 to 13. So we know that Mary Fisher is an S11. And then there's class 14 for intellectual impairment. So those are the numbers you see, the letters S for swimming. And then they also have an SM or an SB. So an SM is a qualifying time for a medley swimmer, or an SB for breaststroke. And we'll endeavour to go through those for you as the night progresses. We do have another full field here for the second race tonight, and included in this we will see our world-renowned Olympic, Paralympic champions, Mary Fisher and Sophie Pascoe.
See, between the two of them, they're so decorated, aren't they, at the international scene?
See Mary Fisher in 3 and Pascoe in 4. But others too have represented New Zealand, and we'll have a chance to have a look at those. I think under the hood you'll find Sophie Pascoe. There she is. She'll be swimming out of lane 4, the Paralympics 2012, with 3 gold and 3 silver. So she's one of the world's best swimmers, and she sets the standard, and the rest of the world endeavour to catch her. We're here in lane 2, Rebecca Dubber. She was at the Paralympics as well. Mary Fisher, of course, she won a gold medal and a silver at the 2012 Paralympics. There she is, swimming out of lane 3, an S11, visual impairment.
And John, I must say, she went under the qualifying time in the S11 this morning in the heats.
You see also in lane 7, Nikita Howarth, who was the youngest ever Paralympian at the 2012, youngest New Zealander to be a Paralympian. So this is a 100 backstroke. So as you mentioned, Mary Fisher qualifying this morning.
As did Sophie Pascoe,
yep.
As also did Brill McPherson and Tupo Nuhufi as well. So 4 of them.
Fantastic. So yes, McPherson swam a 124. Away they go then. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different categories here. And you can see there that it's Pascoe in lane 4 who goes out strongly, along with Mary Fisher in lane 3. Brill McPherson in 6. We watched her last night, giving a great display. She's really improved, only taking up swimming, I think 4 years ago when she went through an illness which sees her with just the one arm. They turn, and Pascoe is leading, looking for that qualifying time again, because although some of these swimmers bettered the times in the heats, they do want to go faster tonight.
Yeah, they do, because there's only, 7 slots up for grabs for the para team to go off to the Paralympics. Sophie Pascoe, that's a very fast split of 32 over the first 50 metres, and I think that she will once again blitz her own ability to go under the Paralympic time. That time is a 1:12.15.
Wow. 1:12 she's looking for, and look at this, she might go faster tonight than she did this morning. She does a 1:07.76. She's in great form, finishing in second place. Tupou Naiufi did a 1:17 this morning. She goes well under that time as well at a 1:16. Mary Fisher finishes third, looking at her time there, a 1:19.01. Now, what did she require? Mary Fisher, a 1:19. And she wanted a 1:29, so well under. Again, yeah. So these swimmers are really putting the pressure on, because while they need to, first of all, get under these target times, they then have to rely on the procedure that follows up until the end of next month, and it does happen to include international standards and all sorts of things, but they've done all they can do here tonight.
Yeah, interestingly, 4 of them under the qualifying time, but not one of them is guaranteed. It's really now going to come down to
Sophie Pascoe first, winning in 1:07.76, then Naiufi, Fisher, McPherson, Dubber, Howarth, all national representatives, and all showing us tonight what makes New Zealand para swimming so strong. The depth here, the standard that New Zealand is setting, has all heads turning, and has done for the last, well, gosh, we can go back to 2000 and even earlier, 1996, when Dwayne Cale did so fantastically well in Atlanta.
Gosh, Sophie Pascoe, beautiful swimmer, isn't she? With that smile.
They're good mates, Fisher and Pascoe. They've set the standard. They are the 2 best female para swimmers in the country, and in many instances in the world. And an outstanding performance too from Brielle McPherson. She took the oath last night on behalf of the athletes, and she's gone from strength to strength. Gosh, she's one of those who may well front up and cause some problems, headaches for the selectors, but they like that.
It's not a problem, is it? It's just a headache, one big headache.
Well, Brielle McPherson has now just caught her breath, and she is with Ian Jones.
Brielle, congratulations. All this hard training is paying off. Another PB, and you're in a purple patch.
It's amazing. I mean, 7 years ago, I lost my aunt to cancer, and have had obstacles. My dad having a double bypass and my mum having breast cancer last year. It really showed me that, you gotta, even like you can't control your life, and there are certain things in your life you can control, and you have to if you want to get stuff done, you just got to do it now.
Well, you're doing it, and you also got a wonderful support network. Your coaches are standing by, everyone's happy, everyone's beaming, but must be nice to have that team behind you.
Absolutely, it's just a big family here, and New Zealand Swimming and PNZ, they've stuck by me through everything, even when I found times to be really tough. They kept me going.
Well, thank you very much. Congratulations. I hope that nomination comes through.
Yes, thank you so much.
Well, Sir Owen Glenn in the audience, the Aquatic Centre here is named after him, a major benefactor, of course, for it, and he will have been impressed from what he heard from Brielle McPherson. Gosh, you wake up in the morning with a headache and think, I'm not feeling so good, and then you hear of what some people go through, and Brielle McPherson's been one of those, and she's proved tonight she's overcoming all obstacles. As we come to our next event, the men's 200 metres freestyle, and included in this field will be the man in lane 4, the man who holds the New Zealand record at 1:47.09, but who this morning went under that qualifying standard of 1:47.97. Full lineup includes also the likes of Mitchell Donaldson in lane 3, who's Australian-based, Ewan Jackson, Matt Hyde as well. A very good field, all looking to put some pressure on Matthew Stanley, who's the man of the moment at this meeting on day 2, having bettered the Olympic qualifying standard. He has the Olympic rings, the tattoo that athletes get once they have achieved that status. They're going back for a second dose of Olympic Games. Training on the Gold Coast under Dennis Cottrell, as Lauren Boyle mentioned Dennis Cottrell in her little preamble.
Yeah, and I think, John, he's taken a little bit of time to adapt to that program because Dennis is so ruthless in how he approaches the swimmers. But it looks as if he's back to his very best now, and let's hope so for this race now in this final. We want to see him make a real statement here going forward to the Olympics.
We also saw next to him Ewan Jackson, who's in lane 5, and lane 6 just facing us here. That's Matt Hyde from Matamata, coached by Graham Lang. On lane 3, facing away from us there, is Mitchell Donaldson. Now, he's also training out of Australia and has often shown so much potential. What's he got for us tonight? 200 freestyle final. Stanley this morning bettered the qualifying time for the Olympic Games of 1:47.97. Is he up to bettering that tonight, to setting a new national record, which is what we'd like to see?
Now, I definitely want to see a New Zealand record. He's capable. He owns the New Zealand record. Interestingly, if you have a look at his stroke, it's a little bit more relaxed than what it has been in the past. I feel that his stroke rate has increased. He used to have a lot slower stroke rate. It's definitely up now in tempo, but he looks very relaxed with it. What we noticed this morning is that he didn't go out extremely hard over the first 100 metres. It was almost an even split.
So we see he hasn't gone out hard over the first 75. Now you can sense the urgency there as he looks across at Jackson, who's on his right in lane 5. When he turns, he'll also notice that coming up alongside is his old rival Mitchell Donaldson, who also trains out of Australia, out of Sydney University. Those are the first 3. Matt Hyde of Matamata is in lane 6, and he's in 4th place at the moment.
So 52.97, just a little bit slower than what he went through the first 100 metres this morning. Are we wanting to see about a 1:20 low over the 150? That's the time we're watching as he comes into the third 50 now, but still looking very strong, Matt Stanley. Right there also is Ewan Jackson, as is Mitchell Donaldson.
Wow, great turn there from Ewan Jackson, and Jackson is really forcing Stanley to open it up if Stanley wants to retain this title. Jackson swimming brilliantly.
Oh, but look at Stanley. He's just got another gear. He's kicked in another gear. But here comes once again Jackson.
Jackson has forced Stanley to go quicker. Stanley cannot relax here. Jackson comes up alongside him. Stanley touches first. Jackson, an excellent swim for second. And Donaldson gets third. Looking at the times, 1:48.34, 1:48.56. Not as fast as this morning for Matthew Stanley, but impressive from Jackson. That's a personal best for him, and that shows that he's in good form. Matamata swimmer Graham Lang is here, his coach, and on the other side was Mitchell Donaldson, and Donaldson's time, 1:50.05.
Yeah, a really good swim, I think, by Ewan Jackson in particular, the way he came back at Stanley and really just tested the arm of Stanley. I like the way Stanley was able to get up.
Nice and relaxed as he took to the water, having the comfort of knowing that he'd already qualified, but as you'd mentioned a couple of times, really wanted to see him stretch out and break that New Zealand record. But probably more impressive was Jackson on his right-hand side.
Yeah, there was nothing in it in the very end, was there? And I think that will be a real thrill for Clive Powers, the high-performance coach of Ewan Jackson as well.
So Stanley wins it. In second place, Jackson, and third, Mitchell Donaldson. The men's 200 metres freestyle. We have a B final as well. But as they're standing by in the background, we can see Ian Jones with someone who's almost as tall as him, Matthew Stanley.
Thanks very much, John. Well, Matt, we can see you've given it all. This morning you qualified, you're off to Rio. That is the job done. Congratulations. And now a New Zealand title as well.
Yeah, thanks. This morning I was kind of almost holding back a little bit to try and do a fast time tonight, but couldn't put it together, unfortunately. But great race there with Ewan. He really got after it and pushed me all the way.
Yeah, talk us through that, because it was that third sort of turn, really, that Ewan sort of put the pressure on you and you responded.
Yeah, It's great to have competition in our New Zealand Nationals, and a big shout out to you, and he did really well, and it's just unfortunate it's just outside the qualifying time.
Must give you a lot of confidence, though, Matt, the training that you've been doing on the Gold Coast, coming here knowing you can do that 1:47.
I've got a lot to work on, but I'm confident that I can put it together when it counts.
Well done, mate. It's really nice to say you're off to Rio. We'll see you there.
Thank you.
Oh, that's nice. Ian Jones, have you qualified too? That's very good. So there we go, the 200 freestyle men's B final. And just have a look at these swimmers with Cole Drinnan from Coast and Zero, Jackson Crop, Jeremy Tasker, Cortland Ellis, James Kiley, Winter Heaven, who's here from Samoa, Ben Angau, Thomas Raymond, Tom Mulder and Zachary Clark. Parnell cap of James Kiley swimming in lane 4, qualifying time this morning of 1:56.48. And just to his left in lane 5 is Winter Heaven, representing Samoa. Was at Utah College, trained out of North Auckland area, went to the World Champs last year. B final, men's 200 metres freestyle. These swimmers have been around and watched the A final, and immediately into his work is Heaven out of lane 5, the man from Samoa, and he's really working the water over here over this first 50. He's a 100 specialist and holds the national record which he set at the World Championships last year.
So he goes through the first 50 metres in 24.73, so a particularly fast split. You have to wonder what he's going for over this 200 metres. I hope that he doesn't experience the big piano as it falls down on him, because it will. But this is a good swim by him. He looks pretty strong. I mean, over in Samoa, they've built a fantastic 50-metre complex indoors and outdoors. They've got 2 50-metre pools there, and it's quite impressive. So he's looking for a time over the first 100 metres, 52.33.
Yeah.
Obviously looking to qualify in the 100 freestyle for his country of Samoa.
Yes, indeed. So we wondered what he was doing, going so fast over that first 50 and through the 100. So Winter Heaven, he will presumably swim the 100 as well later on. And now we go back to the rest of the field, which has now overtaken Heaven. So in lane 6, we've got Ben Angau of Whanganui. He's leading as they come to the 150. Touches in first place at 1:25.68. In second place was Cortland Ellis. And James Kiley is in third place.
It's nice to see a Whanganui swimmer back up there again, Ben from Christchurch, a club that has got a huge history in New Zealand swimming, produced so many national representatives.
So it's the B final of the men's 200 metres freestyle, and coming in to touch the wall in first place, it looks like
Cortland
Ellis. It was. He was second at the turn. He came home strongly, just 16 years of age. It's a good swim from Cortland Ellis. He did a 1:57.56 this morning, so that's quite substantially faster than what he did in the heats today. And as you see in the water there, the 2 Neptune swimmers, he and Jeremy Tasker, congratulating each other. Very good swim by Cortland Ellis. So 1:55.80 for Cortland Ellis. James Kiley 1:56.78. Kiley from Parnell. Ben Angau in third place from Whanganui. That's the 200 freestyle B final. Yes. Just watching the swimmers out of the water now. And interesting, we do have some visitors from Fiji. We'll see Fijian swimmer later in the night from Samoa as well. And also from Indonesia, although they were meant to swim in one of the races last night, but weren't sighted, so I'm not sure if they're here or not. The 200 metres freestyle women's A final now. The New Zealand record held by Lauren Boyle. She set that in 2014. The Olympic qualifying time is 1:58.96. None of the swimmers went under 2 minutes this morning in the heats. But we do have some New Zealand representatives there, the likes of Samantha Lucy Smith and Samantha Lee. Laura Quilter, always an outstanding performer. And then some of the younger swimmers as well, either side of those two.
It's going to be interesting to see how Samantha Lee bounces back after the victory last night, and it was a really good victory in the 200 metres butterfly, so she's got a good endurance on her. She trains over in Australia with the legendary Australian coach Michael Bowl out of the St Peter's club over there.
So there we see Laura Quilter, as it showed. She swam at the Commonwealth Games. Samantha Lucy Smith in lane 5 also. Samantha Lee here, who Mark was talking about, won the 200 fly, upsetting the favoured Helena Gasson last night. Yonsu Lee is in 1, Monique King 2, Karina Doyle 2, Georgia Maris, Quilter, Lucy Smith, Samantha Lee, then Chloe Francis, Annabelle Pedersen and Matilita Bondromo of Fiji. She's in lane 9.
Also interested to see how Georgia Maris goes here in lane number 3. She trains out of the Florida Gators over in California. So she's home now to see how she is going to form in this 200 free.
There are a few questions here. Samantha Lucy Smith, for the last 4 years or so, has been a regular member of the relay teams, been an outstanding freestyler. Just seems to have, for the moment anyway, dropped off the pace slightly, but she's in here swimming in lane 5, and next to her on her right is Laura Quilter, and it looks as though it'll be Quilter who takes them to the wall first. Quilter, Samantha Lee, Samantha Lucy Smith.
Well, really important that Laura Quilter makes a statement here, coached by Thomas Ansell out of the North Shore Club. It's a very strong club here. Had a disappointing year last year, and she needs to make a statement and come back into this 200 metres freestyle.
She was second in this event last year. Laura Quilter, 23 years of age, North Shore swimmer, 1 body length clear as they come towards the 100. So Quilter leads, Lucy Smith to her right, and Lee further out, and on the inside of her is Georgia Maris. So those are the 4 at the moment. Karina Doyle in 5th place as they turn at the 100.
Well, a 57.77 should make her go under the 2-minute mark for the 200 metres freestyle, but the others are starting to up their rate now. They know that they've got a work to do to catch up to Laura Quilter. Laura Quilter making a very big statement. A 1:31 is what she went this morning. Now, if she's going to go under the 2 minutes, we need a 1:29 at the 150 metre mark. And there it is, 1:29.41.
No encouragement here for Laura Quilter. She holds that lead. Samantha Lee moves up past Samantha Lucy Smith.
Oh, look at Georgia Maris. I mentioned her earlier on, but is she flying over this last 50 metres?
You can see there the line is the qualifying line. They've dropped behind that, but this is a fantastic race. 3 of them. Maris may have the lead at the moment from Samantha Lee, Laura Quilter, and Laura Quilter dies away, and Maris has the strongest finish. And she does it in 2:00.73, just outside that 2-minute mark. But a great finish from Maris, indicating that she's getting towards the top of her game. 19 years of age out of the United Club. Samantha Lee finished in 2nd place, and Laura Quilter in 3rd. Quilter did her best through 150, but Georgia Maris wins it in 2:73. Samantha Lee 2nd, Laura Quilter 3rd, then Doyle and Lucy Smith the top 5 in the women's 200 metres freestyle.
Well, Quilter really, it was interesting, wasn't it? Quilter really went for it, but just didn't have it over the last 50 metres. Look at how much advantage that she had. So she goes to the last turn, and this is where Maris made a big mark. Huge turn on Maris, and then she just rolled over the top of Quilter. No swimmer likes to experience that, but what a fantastic last 50 of Maris, and her first ever national title.
Well, if you're going to get that qualifying standard, you've got to give it everything, and there's no doubt that Quilter did. Gave herself a chance. There's no going to bed tonight and thinking, I wish I'd, because she gave it a shot. Yeah. 200 freestyle women's B final.
I bet you she's saying, if only I had a bit more at the last 50 though.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's next time, isn't it? Hayley Edmund of North Shore starts in lane 4 in this B final. Ebony Maikuku is in lane 3. Rebecca Chain in 2 as we go up towards the top. There's Paige Shendelar Kemp. Looks to be swimming well in lane 1, and Holly Parker up at the top. Kate Godfrey, experienced swimmer from Neptune, is in lane 6 alongside Libby Bradley. And down here, Stephanie Gillespie, Leah Eagleton and Isabel Ryan.
Well, Paige Shendelar Kemp is a very, very good open water swimmer. She's only 17 years of age, and she leads us through the first 50 metres with a 29.38.
Leah Eagleton in lane 8 was second at the 50. Now they settle into it nicely, pretty much all in the line. Stephanie Gillespie just slightly off the pace in lane 7. Now they're very smoothly working towards this 100. Right at the top of the screen, they're almost in a line as we see that.
So that's the New Zealand record line that's out in front. And well, you could put a blanket over this field, though. That's the interesting thing.
Very good turn in lane 3 by Maikuku.
Out of the Jazzy Club in Christchurch. Rides ahead very, very high. That's something that we don't see a lot of now. We see a lot of the swimmers putting the head down a lot lower and almost feeling or getting that sensation of swimming downhill. Definitely don't see that with this Jazzy swimmer.
Maikuku takes it to the wall with 50 to go. This is the B final, 200 freestyle. And second place was Hayley Edmund. She's in lane 4. Now they're starting to work into it. Look at this. They can sense that they're all in with a chance. There's 4 in with a chance. As we look across the line now, very close at the front. Maikuku and Edmund. And down in lane 6, that's Kate Godfrey, who suddenly emerged as a contender for the top spot. But leading them home in lane 4 will be Hayley Edmund. And Edmund comes back strongly to win it from Kate Godfrey, and Maikuku, I think, was in 3rd place. North Shore cap, Hayley Edmund, 21 years of age. She swam 2:06.82 this morning. She goes slightly faster tonight, which is what you want. She just missed out on the A final. Now takes the B title. She
raced it very well, John. She obviously looked at her teammate in the previous heat and has learned a little bit about that. Didn't go out as hard and came back, really well in that last 50.
This is night 2 of finals at the National Swimming Championships at the Sir Owen Glen Aquatic Centre. The man himself is in the audience and taking in what's happening in the pool that is named after him. We are also, of course, the second night of Olympic qualifying races as the National Championships doubling for the Olympic Games trials. And we must stress, if you're unaware of it, there are some swimmers from the States who aren't here. They're competing in the college championships in the US at the moment, short course. And then next week they go off to Canada to compete in the National Championships Olympic trials of the Canadians. So that's their opportunity to qualify. But right here, the 400 metres individual medley, a man in the middle, Nathan Capp, in lane 4 from Greerton, set the New Zealand record last year at these championships at 4 minutes 17.72. And he needs to better that by a second if he's to qualify for the Olympic Games. And this guy is capable. He looked good last night. He's in good shape, as you mentioned. You've spoken to him today.
Yeah, he's pretty confident and he looks really relaxed. He is a beautiful swimmer. He puts the 4 strokes, the 4 disciplines together extremely well. 5th discipline, of course, is the turns, and how well he educates those turns is something that we will watch as this race, this 400 medley, unveils.
Well, important right at the start for Cap to get away well. And he does. He's a very good starter. As you can see underwater there, that he's already just emerging as we move into the first discipline, the butterflies. He cuts through the 25. So good start, well away. And Mark will keep an eye on the times that he needs, the splits that we need from Nathan Capp as he goes towards a New Zealand record and an Olympic Games time. Here's hoping.
Yeah, it's important that he just relaxes this 100 metres butterfly. It's so easy to go out too hard. 27.80, that's a good split going down. I think he looks very, very comfortable in the way he's doing it. In fact, he's not even in the top 3. I'm sure that he will be in the top 3 in the finish, but he looks very comfortable, very relaxed. And so what he's starting to do now, Nathan Capp, is just increasing the pace. And a good Medley swimmer always swims their second 50 metres of each stroke a little bit stronger than the first.
He wasn't first at the turn, but he is first now. He's taken over from Trembath, who's on his right, as they touch and turn. 100 gone, and Nathan Capp has hit the front. That time 59.64 through the first 100 into the backstroke now.
Well, that's faster than he set this morning. He went 100 over the first 100, so he's got some time up his sleeve. I just think he's looking really strong. I like to see him just lie that head back a little bit more in his backstroke, but he's a very good backstroker. Watch when he turns and finishes the backstroke onto the breaststroke, but we'll keep an eye on these splits. As I said, he wants to be able to negative split each 50 metres of each individual stroke, and that's a 33.7 over the first 50 metres of this backstroke.
So he's in front, and the good news is that Trembath is sticking with him a little bit, so that's what will help Cap. Also the crowd, which has gone a wee bit quiet. You need to be aware that this is a man who's on target for a qualifying standard. Nathan Capp.
So we're wanting to time of 2:06, 2:07 over the halfway stage as we see him coming back over the second 50, and that's a 32.6. So that's a negative split, just exactly what we've been talking about. And 2:05.8, that's a very good split. So look, you know, we could see something really special here. I just hope this crowd really gets behind him and realizes how good this swim is. As I said, I think he's a really competent breaststroker, and you can just see the fluency of his stroke. He gets down on each stroke. It's a maximum distance per stroke. Very good streamlining as he stretches it out.
Well, breaststroke is always, or tends to be, the difficult one for Medley swimmers, but he's looking very smooth. I liked what you said earlier. He looked relaxed when he was up on the blocks. He's looked relaxed all day. He looked relaxed in his swim this morning, and he is moving away steadily, and there's no doubt that he is negative splitting every second 50 mark. He's looking stronger here now, as we see in the background Andrew Trembath and Blake Gunn. They are second and third.
Well, John, he went 36.7 over the first 50 metres breaststroke. He went to 1:15 total time this morning. So if you double 36.7, he is on target for a very good swim here. So we'll just have a look at this last split as he turns a 36.9. Again, another good split over the second 50 of his breaststroke. He is on target. 319.46. He needs to come back in about a 57 to be able to do it, but I think that he's capable of that.
Look at him, Nathan Capp, relaxed and powerful. He's a very, very talented young man. We talked last night about the fact that it was almost as if 2 years ago he flicked a switch and suddenly realised how good he was. He's off the wall at the 50, 50 to go, just outside.
30.2 over that 50 metres, he's just outside. I wonder how much last night's 800 metres has taken a toll on him, but he's finishing very strong. Look at how he's just winding up his six-beat kick now.
And can't see the kick at the moment, but we will. There it goes. Look at, he's working that over. Big splash coming. He is giving it everything. Is he going to do it? He's looking for a time of 4:16, and he's going to be just out of that. In fact, a bit slower than he looked as though he was going. The freestyle couldn't quite bring it home. And he looks very disappointed, Nathan Capp, searching for a 4:16 and a New Zealand record. He's gone 4:18, a second outside his national record. And I'm sure we'll see the face of a man who's disappointed indeed, because right throughout that race he was on target.
Yeah, and just look at the first 100 metres freestyle, the first 50 metres, 30.6 I think it was, and he came back in a 28 over the second 50. So he left it all just a little bit too late. I'm sure that the face probably tells it all there. He knew that he had a little bit more in the tank.
Well, it comes down to, it's not just going flat out, it's tactics as well. Nathan Capp 4:18.75. Andrew Trembath takes the silver, and Blake Gunn the bronze medal ahead of Hamish Trillin. The 400 individual medley, men's A final.
So good dive, all clean, all 8 of them are cleanly into the water. Certainly Nathan Cap wasn't leading at the first 50 metres, but he was at the end of the 100 butterfly. Beautiful breaststroke here, and you can just see how he's leaning onto a stroke. And then in particular, the last 50 metres in the 6-speed kick, he just got another gear. Huge advantage over the rest of the field, but disappointment.
Yes, indeed, it is. He'll trudge away now. Gave it that best shot, not good enough on the night for Nathan Cap. 400 individual medley, still got the 1500 to go, of course. So we're coming to a break, and then we'll be back with our first event being the women's 50 metres backstroke, in which we'll see the likes of Gabrielle Farmasili and Bobby Gishard.
Hi, I'm Bobby Gishard. I'm from Napier, and I swim the 100 and 200 backstroke at New Zealand Opens. It's like that cliche sort of story, you know, you grew up in the waters, and I just loved it ever since I was little. I think I was naturally good at it, and I knew breaststroke and fly weren't really my thing. I feel like I'm more drown than anything, but I feel like, yeah, I feel like it was just natural to me. At the very beginning, I wasn't the best, but I still feel like there's still learning. Good technique. I think you need like your hips like up, you know, everything just needs to be perfect, like rotation and like everything like that. I feel like you're faster underwater. Like coaches say, like every turn is an opportunity to go faster and go like further underwater. So practice makes perfect, I guess. I don't think when I start, I try not to overthink. I feel like it comes naturally, which like happens when you go like practice and training and stuff. But I really think like good posture, like don't like arch or like, you know, and like just like get out, up and over the water, not like pushing the water sort of thing. I feel like the like 100's more of a sprint, and then the 200's more of like you sort of have to pace yourself. So I think that's how a lot of people like stuff up, like going too fast in the first 100 or the 200, stuff like that. There's a lot of things you sort of need to work on. Like for me, it's probably like go faster in the third 50 sort of thing, and like just hold it for the last 50 and just like know that you can do it. Just self-belief, I guess. Every pool is different, I feel like, because like the roof and stuff always have like different like positions. So each lane will have like a different like Y or something to where you can like position yourself sort of thing. So that's what I try to look at, because I normally tend to like swerve into the lane rope, so it's good to like know what's up above you so you can like sort of keep on track on where you're going. There's a love-hate relationship, I guess, like what every sport has, you know, but it's more love than anything, you know. During training, when it's a hard set, you know, you just don't want to be there, but you just have to push through it because it'll be all worth it in the end. I think I was like 10 or 11 telling Noel, my Napier coach, you know, I'm like, oh, I want to go to the Olympics. He like laughed. He was like, oh, okay, you know, we can try that. And like now it's like a real dream for me.
This is the victory ceremony for event number 7, the men's 200 metres freestyle. The medals will be presented by Sir Owen. The winner of the bronze medal representing Carmel, Mitchell Donaldson. The winner of the silver medal representing Howick Pakuranga, Ewan Jackson. And the winner of the gold medal and the 2016 New Zealand champion in a time of 1 minute 48.34, representing Matamata, Matthew Stanley. This is the victory ceremony for event number 8, the women's 200 metres freestyle. The medals will be presented by Sir Owen Glenn. The winner of the bronze medal from North Shore, Laura Porter. The winner of the silver medal representing capital, Samantha Lee. And the winner of the gold medal and the 2016 New Zealand champion in a time of 2 minutes, 0.73, representing United, Georgia Maris.
We're at the Sir Owen Glenn Aquatic Centre here on the North Shore, and he in fact is busy with some medal presentations at the moment. They've been doing some of the medal presentations while we've been at a break, and you can see this fabulous new complex here. First time you would have seen it on television unless you watched the zonal championships last month, but it really is a superb facility with good seating up on the top right hand side there, where the spectators have the advantage of some television screens so they can watch what's happening on the big board here. And underneath that big board now we have some of the 50-metre backstroke women who've swum so well this morning to get through to this final. 50 metres backstroke, the fastest of the qualifiers was Gabrielle Faamusili, who of course will swim in lane number 4 as we look at them. Kate Godfrey, who's just been out in one of the finals previously, Simone Lusby, then Goodwin, Flynn, Faamusili and Gishard. That's going to be the big battle here. And a new face there, Ella Kossel, who's come from Western Australia to swim in the Wellington area. That's the list, and swimmers will contest the women's final of the 50 metres backstroke. Ebony Maikuku, as we saw earlier, swam in the 200 free B final. This is Gabrielle Faamusili. What a stunning swimmer she is, still only 16, but already has made an impact at Junior Worlds.
Absolutely, and she's recently changed to Igor Poliensky out of the United Club, and I think he's done wonders with her. In front of us now, Bobby Gishard, just recently transferred up into the High Performance Centre here under Clive Power, but her lifetime coach, Noel Hargrave Booth, has just announced his retirement at 70 years young, 70 plus, I think he is young. So we wish Noel every success in his retirement. He's done a sterling job with Bobby Gishard, more known for her 100-200. Keep an eye on the start of Gabrielle Faamusili in 4.
She does start well. It's been one of her key elements. She comes up last, out of the water that is, but first in the water. Look at her now already into her work, and to her left is Gishard, but Gabrielle Faamusili at the 25 has a half a body length over the rest. She's really moving. This is great work from Faamusili. The New Zealand record is 27.81, and she's in top form, and she touches that wall in 27.97. Very good swim indeed from this young woman, 16 years of age. She and Gishard are having some good battles. Gishard, as Mark Bohm mentioned, more inclined to the 100 and 200, but no slouch over the 50. Gishard finishes second, and Flynn Page takes the third place.
She looked very good, Gabrielle Fahamasili, with a 27.97. Big advantage over a 50 backstroke over Bobby Gishard, 28.78. As you mentioned, John, a fantastic start, really good underwater. Came up last, but you can see her, she explodes up and is already out in front. And a great finish. She just keeps her head still, doesn't look at all, and just drives into the wall.
Great finish from her. Into the B final now, and out of lane 4 is Kelsey Bucock of North Shore. She had a very good swim this morning, 30.63, but she's not having it all her own way here. In lane 6, we've got Kyla Alexander.
Yeah, from the United Club. Can they make it back-to-back victories in the A and B finals?
But now in lane 4, Bucock looks to have taken over it. She's surging over the last 20, and she gets to the wall and touches comfortably, as it turns out, in 30.36. That's slightly faster than she went this morning. In second place is, I think it was Catherine Grozev in lane 5. We'll get the official confirmation for you in a moment, but that's the B final. Here we have it. Yes, Kelsey Bucock, Catherine Grozev in 30.69, and Kyla Alexander third place. The women's B final, 50 backstroke. This, of course, is not an Olympic event. The only 50-metre event at the Olympics is the freestyle.
Still good for their overall speed to do these 50-metre events and improve their basic speed, basic power, and then transfer that to the 100.
Out come the men. 50 metres backstroke. The fastest this morning was Cornel Coetzee of North Shore. Daniel Hunter in lane 5. Kennard Campbell in lane 6. Here's the leading 3 contenders there. Kennard Campbell in 3, Coetzee in 4, and Hunter in 5. Ollie Wyeth in 6. We've seen already Andrew Trembath tonight. Julian Weir as well. Now the national record is held by Daniel Bell. My word, he could move over the backstroke. He set that way back in 2009. Unbelievable, isn't it? 7 years ago.
And interesting, he's just turning his attention to coaching, and so we wish him every success. He's gone back to his roots back in Hawke's Bay, Poverty Bay, out of Havelock North, and resurrecting a career in coaching now. I'm sure, you know, technically he'll make a very good coach.
Coetzee in 4, Daniel Hunter. Looked impressive in the heats this morning. Did a 26.5, went to the World University Games last year.
This is not his event that he's aiming for, the 50 free, but he'll be using it for his speed. Real talent, this Daniel Hunter in lane 5. Coetzee, very talented family.
They're away very well indeed. The national record, 25.24, as I mentioned. Daniel Bell, and you'll see at the end of this just how quick Daniel Bell was and why the record's hung around for 7 years. This is a real splash in the centre of the pool, way up the top. Joshua Asplin looking good, but come down into lane number 5, and Daniel Hunter starts to emerge now. It's Hunter, very tall swimmer, very correct stroke, touches comfortably. 25.87. 25.87 for him. That's quite a bit faster than he went this morning. So Hunter wins it. Coetzee is second, and Kennard Campbell takes third place. Confirmation coming for you right now. Daniel Hunter, 25.87. Looking good.
Yeah, good time. Look, he's not he's beaten so tall that he is. It takes him a while to get his stroke rate up, and we saw that. And interestingly, coming into the finish, he just, you know, was struggling with his timing going into the finish, but did enough and looks really good. I think that he's setting himself up extremely well for his 50 metres freestyle, because that's a PB for him over that 50 back.
Right, we do see him. Look, hasn't shaved at all. He will, but when we see him in the freestyle, because he wants to show how good he really is. He's improved all the time. He's one of those ones, Mark, that the top swimming people are looking at very carefully just to see the little incremental improvements he's making. He's one for the future.
Well, they're not even incremental. I mean, they've been quite significant improvements. And, you know, last year at the Nationals, he just sprung out of nowhere, really. Well, emerged, I should say, because we've been always watching him, but totally emerged and looked fantastic.
And in lane 4 from Parnell, Olivia Upston.
So Olivia Upston from Parnell and Amy Noble from Karori Pirates. Olivia Upston coached by Sam Carradis out of Parnell. Amy Noble by Steve Francis, a women's para swim, 50 metres breaststroke. It's not an Olympic event for these swimmers, both S9.
So Olivia Upston, really good use of her upper body, her arms in particular. You can see just how arm dominated she is. Bit of head movement there, but that's always trying to just work those arms and make her body go forward all the time.
So athletes, as we know, as we've seen throughout our coverage over the years of the national championships, they might have the same number classification, but they have different impairments.
You just see a shot there. I mean, technically, if that was an able-bodied race, she'd be disqualified because of the illegal kick. But a 49.85, that's a good personal best for Olivia, and a nice swim.
And a 101.91 for Amy Noble. She has done better than that, a 58 she's done. So good harmony between the two as they now emerge from the pool, having completed the 50-metre breaststroke. Olivia Upston and Amy Noble.
So if we just get a shot here of the breaststroke kick, you can see that that's actually not a legal kick, although it's able to be used in the Paralympics. It's because of their disabilities they can't actually turn their legs out in a proper breaststroke positioning.
Next up we have the men. Two different classifications here. Dylan Noitzi from St Paul's, coached by Graham Smith. He is in S14. And Cameron Leslie out of lane 5 there, who's won Paralympic gold medals, as an S5.
And world record holder.
Stunning man. So there is a qualifying standard here.
55.36.
55.36 for Leslie, not for Nutzi.
But there's no 50 breaststroke in the SB14, which is the category. Let's see, there's no 50 breaststroke at the Paralympics for his category, but there is for Leslie.
But there's a personal best at stake here, and all swimmers chase those at every national championships. And Dylan Nutzi of St Paul's, member of the 2016 National Development Camp, he has a 44.29. That's his PB, and he goes well under that, and he'll turn around and be very pleased when he sees that target up there. But now we turn our attention to Cameron Leslie, looking for a 55.36.
I think it's just
qualify. I think it is, yeah. Yep. Leslie turns around and 57. So just outside for Cameron Leslie. At 26 years of age, he's done so much in para sport, Cameron Leslie. 57.99. Inside his his seeded time, but outside the qualifying time for the Paralympics. Night 2 of finals at the National Swim Championships here on the North Shore. It's a much better viewing area here for the spectators. They have the seating right alongside the pool, whereas Previously at West Wave, it was also there was the sort of VIP area.
Well, to be fair, the West Wave was an old pool of,
absolutely,
of yesteryear, ready for the 1990 Commonwealth Games.
That's right, that's right, 1990.
And modified hugely since then.
So this is better for the spectators at this new area, and that's what you can do when you're building a new pool or any sort of complex. Make sure that the spectators are looked after. We go on to the 200 metres breaststroke. So we're just having a break now as we get ready for the 200 metres breaststroke final. That's coming up very shortly at the Sir Owen Glen Aquatic Centre.
No, I knew breaststroke and fly weren't really my...
This is the victory ceremony for event 10, the women's 50 metres backstroke. The medals for the event are presented by Manish Kalal from Kingsport, New Zealand. The winner of the bronze medal from Kikitan, Paige Glenn. The winner of the silver medal is Howard Pakaranga, Bobby Gishar. And the winner of the gold medal and the 2016 New Zealand champion in a time of 27.97 from United City Club, Gabrielle Bahamasili. This is the victory ceremony for event 11, the men's 50 metres backstroke. The medals being presented by Manish Kalal from Kingsport, New Zealand. The winner of the bronze medal representing the North Shore, Finn Gennard Campbell. The winner of the silver medal from North Shore, Corne Patricio. And the winner of the gold medal and the 2016 New Zealand champion in the time of 25.87, representing Howard Pakaranga, Daniel Hunter.
Well, some of the medal ceremonies that have been held this morning. Chris Arbuthnot, David Beck and Tama Soloota. The men's 100 metres backstroke para swim. There was a bit of a rush to get here for this one for Rebecca Dubber. Mary Fisher, and winning the gold medal is Fisher. Sophie Pascoe also amongst them. Matthew Stanley, who qualified earlier tonight with Mitchell Donaldson and Ewan Jackson, receiving the medals in the 200 men's freestyle. And then a great race really, but Georgia Maris winning this from Samantha Lee and Laura Quilter, the women's 200 free. So we're almost set for the next session here on night 2 at the Sir Owen Glenn Aquatic Centre in Auckland. The swimmers getting ready for the 200 metres breaststroke final. 200 metres breaststroke final. We've got Ali Eastwood swimming out of lane number 4 from United. Women's 200 breaststroke, the New Zealand record. That must be the oldest record now, set by Kelly Bentley back in 2005. The qualifying standard is 2:26.94. Well, none of our swimmers this morning betted 2 minutes 40, so that's a full 10 seconds outside the national record and 15 seconds outside qualifying. 200 breaststroke, some familiar names there from previous championships, including Kendall Reedy in lane 1, Jane Ip in lane 8. Swimming out of lane 4 will be Ellie Eastwood. She swam this morning at 2:40.10 from the United Club. To her right in lane 3 will be Sophie Tarrant, and then on her left will be Millie McDonald swimming out of lane 5 from Parnell. It's McDonald there. A lot of the swimmers just taking up their favourite position. Some standing with one foot up on the block, others turning to their right, some to their left, some looking straight ahead. It's all that last minute prep. The routine. 200 breaststroke for women. It's underway, and a very good start out of lane 5 from Millie McDonald, and in fact she emerges in first place. 2 alongside her is Connor Tarrant, 15-year-old, also from the United Club. 3 from United there, Tate, Tarrant and Ip in lane 6, 7 and 8.
Yeah, it was a very, very good start from Millie McDonald. She came into this event as the top qualifier, only to be pushed out into second going into the final tonight. And so now it's all down to this final top qualifier from the heats this morning, Ali Eastwood in lane number 4.
So it is McDonald who leads. Eastwood is in second place at the turn, and Kendall Reedy up in lane number 1 turns in third place. And when we look at national records and what's required for qualifying, I'm going to say, what, 14 seconds below what they did this morning to qualify for the game, just shows that, you know, breaststroking has really just struggled at times in New Zealand, particularly over the 200.
Particularly in women, I think, more so than men, because Glenn Snyders has shown the force. But, you know, you look through the women, people like Natasha Lloyd, who's over in Auburn University, training out of there, finished 11th at the NCAA, made big improvements in the 100 breaststroke. So it'd be interesting to see her go off to the Canadian Nationals. We normally would have had her here at these national championships in this event.
That's right, there are some familiar names not here, and we'll hear how well they go in the Canadian trials next week. But in lane 5 it is still Millie McDonald. She led out of the 100. Now with 1:25 gone, she's looking in control and smooth, but right alongside her is Ellie Eastwood. Reedy up in lane 1 has dropped back significantly. Sophie Tarrant looking quite comfortable in lane 3. So those will be the first 3 as they touch with 50 to go.
So 155.49. That's a huge improvement from what they swam this morning. And, you know, you were always going to get into the final just cruising it through, because there is a big disparity between these young ladies.
Now we've got a race. Lanes 4 and 5, Eastwood in 4, McDonald in 5. Eastwood now starts to emerge, just powering past McDonald. She's gone to almost a half a body length clear over that last 25 metres. And this is a very strong finish over the final 50. for the woman in lane 4, the fastest qualifier from United, Ali Eastwood, and she touches first to take it, just ahead of Millie McDonald in second place, and Sophie Tarrant finished in third place out of lane 3.
Well, it's nice to see two 15-year-olds getting first and third in this 200 metres breaststroke. Ali Eastwood looked really strong over that last 50 metres. I don't think she swam
2:35, yeah.
I don't think she swam any faster. I think that she just was able to hold her form better.
2:35.07, the winning time for Ali Eastwood. She left the blocks well out of lane 4. The best of the starts, though, was from McDonald on her left in lane 5. And it was McDonald who led through the first 50, through the first 100.
Then it was just coming very close at the 150. A good turn by Eastwood, and then she just rolled over the top. You can see that she just stretches out that little bit further. McDonald just shortened her stroke rate just too high.
So the qualifying standard for the men's 200 metres breaststroke, which we'll see next, is 2:11.66. So the women have done their bit here tonight, and the men are ready to rock. Glenn Snyder's in lane 4.
Well, this is going to be a really interesting race by Glenn, because he swam very well this morning, 2:12. And, you know, when he first emerged on the scene, gosh, 12 years ago, 200 breaststroke was his event. And then he went off that and went more powerful. And you can see the way he's built when he strips off. Just such a powerful man at 29 or 28 years of age now. Won the national title for 11 years, lost it last year, so he'll want to reclaim it again. So this is Glenn Snyder's New Zealand record holder. 2:10.55 is their record, but you can see that he's just so powerfully built, and that's why he's gone more to the 50 and the 100 breaststroke.
So Julian Layton is in lane 3. He was second in the 100 last year. He won this event last year. Julian Layton in lane 3 from Greendale, and on the other side of Snyder's in lane 5 was George Schroeder. George Schroeder from Hokitika, but trains out of Christchurch.
Julian Layton had a tremendous last 50 metres last year where he rolled over the top of Glenn Snyder's, now training out of the University of Sunshine Coast in Australia. What sort of form is he going to bring to this 200 breaststroke? He is the title holder.
200 metres breaststroke. The Olympic qualifying time 2:11.66. You notice that Snyder's still has the facial hair, hasn't shaved down for this one. Swam well in the 50 yesterday. Looks confident and calm. And he takes off already with Layton on his right in lane 3. Julian Layton.
Layton's really going for it, John. He's putting a bit of pressure here on Glenn Snyder's. And what could be interesting here is that it could actually pull them both through, because we look at that Olympic qualifying time, 2:11.66. Both of these young men, well, they're not so young anymore, but both of them are capable. Layton at 21, Snyder's at 28.
So Layton and Snyder's doesn't like to be behind at any stage in any New Zealand event. He's dominated for so long. There's the qualifying time. That banner that we see going across it. So we come to the 100, and it is still Layton. Layton and Snyder's touching together. Layton touching first at 1:03.27.
Oh, that's a good split over the first 100 metres. They're right on being able to qualify here. If we can carry this through and work this third 50 metres, 1:03 is a very good split over the first 100 metres. We're going to have a look at the split of about a 1:38 over the 150, and Layton seems to be going for it. He's opening it up. He's showing his hand early.
It looked as though Snyder's had started to just take over a little bit here, get a couple of few centimetres in front. They touch together. Layton still in front. Snyder's second. Schroeder swimming well, and also
John, 1:37.8 at the 150. They are on target to both of them go under the qualifying time. But also look at the very fast finishing George Schroeder from Hokitika, the 20-year-old training out of the High Performance Centre, but it is Snyder's.
Snyder's is on that line. That's the qualifying line, and it moves very quickly about now. Look at this. It is just etching away from Snyder's. Leighton has fallen off a wee bit now, and Schroeder finishes quickly and takes second place. But that was a great race for 3/4 of it. Well, it was a great race anyway. Outstanding from Leighton to stay with Snyder's for that long, but Snyder's with that strength and experience. And Leighton will be, well, he'll be disappointed. But he gave it a shot, didn't he? Again.
Yep, he went for it, and if you have a look at his time, 2:13.93, you know, that's still a good swim, but I was really impressed the way Glenn held that together. He was pressure on him the whole 150, but he's never lost it.
Well, Schroeder, in fact, finishing second in that 2:13, so that's a very good finish from him. He turned there, you can see that Schroeder wasn't in the picture, but Leighton.
Look at the great turn there of Snyder's, though. Beautiful under the water again at the 150 together. Once again, Snyder's just so powerful in the turns. That is working in the United States, and that's just working on finesse now. That important discipline of turns.
So
just have a look at John. I'm sorry, just these pads that have been put in at the moment. They're for the backstrokes, and this is a new evolution in world swimming. We did see it at the zonal championships, but you'll see for any backstroke event, they will put these extra starting pads into the water so that the backstrokers can get a little bit of elevation. We'll see that at the end of the pool. So there they are, just sitting on the top, and if you go down onto the touch pads, there's a little ledge there that the swimmers can now put their feet on and actually get that elevation. Going back a few years, you actually had to have your toes completely under the water for the start. No longer the case. And of course, with these pads that they've got, you can get huge elevation.
Well, the swimmers are all looking relaxed. They're all in a group. They look so much more comfortable when they're with their teammates. The pressure's off a little bit. They still have to perform. It's the relay. They're coming up now, the 4x100 medley relay. And there are some performances that you want to keep an eye on, Mark, off the blocks.
Yeah, most definitely. I'd be looking first of all in lane number 2, the Howick Pakuranga Club. Very strong performing team, and Bobby Gishard is the lead-off swim here. We saw her in the 50 metres backstroke just earlier on, and she swam very well. She'll be looking at the New Zealand record, which stands an open record of 1:00.22. The New Zealand age group record of 1:01.68. And I'd also look at Gabrielle Fahamasili in lane number 4. What sort of time is she going to do? They're both 16 years of age. The Olympic qualifying time is a 1:00.25. So if they do a New Zealand record, they will qualify for the Olympics, and they can do it in this event. The 100 back is the lead-off swims. So keep an eye on the 2 swimmers in lane number 2 and lane number 4.
We've seen them already tonight, Gishard and Fahamasili. Howick Pakuranga in lane 2, North Shore in 3, swimming Auckland in 4, swimming Wellington in 5. And we've got...
Well, that start was definitely goes to Gishard. She looked really strong off the blocks and into her stroke rate now. She's going for it. Bobby Gishard in lane number 2. I know that a coach has indicated, Clive Power, that they're really not targeting this event, the relay, but she looks very strong as she goes down the first 50 metres. Keep an eye on the scoreboard, 29.62 over the first 50 metres, so that's a very fast time. 1:00.25, and in backstroke you can come back, but here comes Gabrielle Fahamasili in lane number 4, just rolling over the top. This is a good swim by Fahamasili, and this is something that we haven't seen in the past. Gishard isn't gone yet.
My word, she has not. You look across that, and from that angle there, they look to be practically dead set even. That Fahamasili just has that energy at the end and touches strongly. My word, she raced into that wall and gave her team, the Auckland team, a good lead. Millie McDonald is swimming number 2 for Auckland. Michaela Dance for Howick Pakuranga. Yonsu Lee for North Shore, Crystal Nielsen for Wellington, and Lucy Gordon for the Canterbury team.
Well, John, just flicking back to the Gabrielle Fahamasili, 101.31. That's a New Zealand age group record, so that's a great swim for her. And remember, she would have been a little bit fatigued after that 50 metres backstroke where she swam so well. And I'm just thrilled to see her coming back and swimming the 100 metres so extremely strongly. So a New Zealand age group record for the 16-year-old in the 100 backstroke.
Swimming Auckland in front in this first 4x100 medley relay. We're at the breaststroke leg, and it's Millie McDonald, 18-year-old. We've seen her already tonight with an outstanding swim. She's looking strong up at the top. It's still Howick Pakuranga with Michaela Dance. That's up at the top there. See in lane number 2. Next to her is Yonsu Lee of North Shore. Down at the bottom here from Canterbury, it's Lucy Gordon and Christelle Nielsen from Wellington.
So Millie McDonald takes Auckland into the lead. Howick Pakuranga in second position, and now into the water for the Howick Pakuranga team is Paige Shamata Kemp. She's a really good butterfly, as I said earlier on when she was swimming the freestyle. She's a very strong open water swimmer as well.
Well, that's going to be interesting to see how much she can close on Lauren Harrower, because as you've mentioned several times, Paige is a very good fly swimmer, and you can see that the gap is closed. She has pushed through that first 50 very well indeed, but it is still Auckland in front. Lauren Harrower.
Interestingly, St. John, sometimes it's easier to chase. When you've got somebody out in front of you, it's a lot easier to go out there and chase them. And of course, the consequences of that is that you've got still a 50 metres of butterfly still to go.
That's right.
It starts to hurt, but Kemp is still holding this together extremely well. That margin has narrowed significantly.
It's gone from about 6 body lengths to less than a body length, and she may well, in fact, touch first. Second it is, though. It is still Auckland. That's a great leg by Paige Shindela Kemp. Howick Pakuranga, she did, in fact, touch first, ahead of Auckland and Canterbury in third place. So that was fantastic. Tracy Keith Matchett. Freestyle leg for Howick Pakuranga. Annabelle Patterson for Auckland. Hayley Edmund for North Shore. Keely McKnight for Wellington, and Sammy Winwood for Canterbury.
Actually, Canterbury had a very good 100 metres butterfly there as well with Emily Rennell. Did extremely well to bring them back right up into the picture.
Eyeballing each other across the lanes. Tracy Keith Matchett just given that slender advantage by Shindela Kemp. After that sensational butterfly leg from her, Howick Pakuranga. And now it is Patterson from Auckland who's going to win this one. It's close, and it is Patterson who touches first. Auckland, gosh.
Have a look at that difference, 0.04. Now that was the difference that Kemp put the Howick Pakuranga Club in front at the end of the butterfly. They've reversed that, and now Auckland wins it by 0.04. What a great finish by Auckland.
Annabelle Patterson gets the touch in to give Auckland the women's 4x100 medley relay. 4:21.12, 4:21.16 for Howick Pakuranga. North Shore third, Canterbury fourth, and Wellington in fifth place. Gosh, well, 2 excellent legs in this, particularly the third and fourth. Started off well, though, with Gabrielle Fahamasili. She swam brilliantly, as she has done for the last couple of years, this youngster, giving Auckland a lead. It was added to through Millie McDonald, and then when it came to the fly, there was a strong finishing by Paige Shindela Kemp, which gave her team, Howick Pakuranga, a 0.04 of a second lead. But then on this last 50 metres, Annabelle Patterson finished strongest to give Auckland the title. We have a full lineup, though, in this 4x100 men's medley relay. Aquablades New Plymouth, Howick Pakuranga number 2 team, Wharanui, Howick Pakuranga number 1, North Shore and Swimming Auckland, Swimming Canterbury, Capital, Neptune and North Canterbury. Wow, this will be exciting. Here they go.
It's great too, because this is the first time a national championships has been held in a 10-lane pool, and so you've got 10 clubs now, along with Auckland in there as well, and Canterbury. But you've got 10 clubs competing against each other, and to have 10 swimmers out there across the pool is fantastic.
So looking at this, Julian Ware will lead off for Aqua Blades, Adrian Chong, Willie Campbell, Ewan Jackson for Howick Pakuranga, Finn Kennard Campbell for North Shore, Burfield Mills for Auckland, Cameron James Canterbury, Hamish Trelin for Capital, Portland Ellis, Neptune and North Canterbury, Oliver Rayner. Some youngsters there, a few 16, 15-year-olds, a bit of experience as well. They'll enjoy this.
Have a look at the swimmer in lane number 3 from the Howick Pakuranga Club, Ewan Jackson, 22-year-old. What a fantastic 200 freestyle we saw him, where he really took it to Matthew Stanley. How's he going to go over the 100 backstroke now? So he swims out of lane number 3.
The officials all standing in position, still watching, making sure the start is good. And they are away very well out there in lane 4. That was Finn Kennard Campbell, who looked to get away well. Ewan Jackson, in fact, in lane 3 as well. So those two are sorting themselves out at the start.
William Campbell from Whanganui in lane number 2 is also going extremely well. Very fast stroke rate. A lot of slap in his arms versus inside him, Ewan Jackson, a little bit more smooth. Ewan Jackson now turns first for the Howick Pakuranga Club, 27.64.
In third place for Canterbury. As they turn now, that was Cameron James. Wow, this is anyone's at the moment. There's 4 teams settling into a good battle towards the front. Julian Ware up at the top for Aqua Blades, New Plymouth.
It's just the experience now of Ewan Jackson in lane number 3 as he goes into the wall with a time of 57.06.
It's Howick Pakuranga. Jackson hands off to Jeffrey Aruna Tuafanai. He won't let them down. Kennard Campbell hands over to Matthew Holder of North Shore. Campbell handed over to Matthew Phillips. That's for Whanganui.
It's always impressed me, Jeffrey Aruna Tuafanai in lane number 3 from the Howick Pakuranga Club, but just never performed at the national level, but he's been a very competent swimmer in the age group rankings.
Well, he leads through that first 50. Howick Pakuranga, their number 1 team. They've got 2 teams, one in lane 2 and one in lane 1 and one in lane 3. It's in lane 3 at the moment. We're watching Howick Pakuranga. Down in lane 6, I think that is in second place. That's a Canterbury team with George Schroeder. Well, we saw him swim magnificently too in the 200 final not that long ago, and he's hauling Canterbury up into second place.
Interesting watching these different changeovers that different swimmers will employ. You see them following the swimmer in the water into the wall. Some of them will stay in the back of the block and step forward. Others will swing their arms and just trying to get as much momentum off the changeovers as they possibly can. Still a great race between Howick Pakuranga in lane number 3 and Canterbury in lane number 6. This young 16-year-old, Sereni Dovi, he is a really impressive young swimmer that's on the rise, and it's one to watch. He's a beautiful butterflyer, doing a really good job in Canterbury with him.
That's him down the bottom of your screen there. So Tori Dobby, 16 years of age. The other swimmer up at the top is from Howick Pakuranga, Joshua Asplin. So Canterbury have done well in this.
Yeah, Dobby's a very impressive young man. It's one to watch.
It is still Howick Pakuranga. Daniel Hunter goes off the blocks. The anchor man for Howick Pakuranga, and for Canterbury, it's Christopher McFadden. They are 1 and 2 up in lane 3. It's Ben Angau for Whanganui. Lane 2, I'm sorry.
Well, this is Jackson that we're Hunter that we're seeing right now from the Howick Pakuranga Club. Won the 50 metres backstroke, national champion in both the 50 and the 100 metres freestyle from last year's nationals. And so, you know, when he's your anchor man, he's a good man to go to.
He certainly is big and powerful. Daniel Hunter
hasn't even shaven down yet.
No.
His main event is the 50 metres freestyle. That's what he's featuring.
But a very good swim too from McFadden. Hunter surges away a couple of body lengths ahead. In second place, Canterbury through McFadden. And up at the top there, that's Ben Angar for Wharanui. 1, 2 and 3. And time 3:46.95. Oh, here we go, the official results then. Did we get it right in that call towards the end? Howard Pakuranga, yes. Canterbury, yes. And Wharanui in third place. 3:46.95, 49.49 and 54.15. The 4x100 medley relay for men. Final event on the night 2 it is, of course, of the national championships, which are also the Olympic trials. We've had some really good swims finishing with this, and it is great to see a full lineup of clubs here, Mark. A good way to finish the night.
Yeah, look, medleys, relays are always fantastic for the athletes. They enjoy them. They have a lot of camaraderie. They often are training all around the country. Some are in the High Performance Centre here on the North Shore of the Millennium Institute, the Sir Owen Glen Pool that they're training. Others are actually in their club, and it's nice to see them to come together. But it was a very powerful performance by the Howard Pakuranga Club.
Daniel Hunter, he's the last man to win a race here tonight. And the crowd's been treated to some very good swimming tonight. No further Olympians named, but tomorrow perhaps there will be. We start with the 400 metres freestyle for women. Again, Lauren Boyle looking to go through for another qualifying time, and Emma Robinson will be with her. Then on to some more of the para swims throughout the night. The 200 individual medley for both men and women, and the 50 freestyle. So it's a good way to start the third day of competition. We start at 7 o'clock. And we'll end up with another of the relays, the 4x100 freestyle. Always fun, always a good way to finish any championship night. So day 2 has now been completed. It's been a very good night of swimming. Heats tomorrow morning if you can get here at 10 o'clock. We'll be live back with the action at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll see you then.
The winner of the silver medal, representing Parnell, Millie MacDonald.
Well done. Right that way. Good on you.
and the winner of the gold medal and the 2016 New Zealand champion in a time of 2 minutes 35.07, representing United, Ellie Eastwood.
Thank you.
This is the victory ceremony for event number 13, the men's 200-metre breaststroke. The medals will be presented this evening by Don Stanley. Don is a life member of Swimming New Zealand and the chairman of the New Zealand Swimming Trust. The winner of the bronze medal from Greendale, Julian Layton. The winner of the silver medal, representing Hokitika, George Schroeder. And the winner of the gold medal and the 2016 New Zealand champion in a time of 2:12.41, representing North Shore, Glenn Snyders.
Yep, that's all well, man. Yeah. Very good. We'll see. I got a day off tomorrow. Good on you. Go for it, man. Oh, just him?
This is the victory ceremony for event number 14, the women's 4x100 metres medley relay. We have club medals and we have regional medals.